Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know y'all missed us last week because we missed y'all. We right back at it again. We got a lot to talk about, y'all. So let's get right to it. We got some NCAA, some NFL, some MLB. We know that just ended, and we might talk about some UFC. But if y'all ready, we'll go ahead and be ready. Let's get it.
Shine through.
Welcome to the All Sports Matter podcast. I am your host, JB, as you know, and with me, as always, we got my brothers. So let's go ahead and bring them in. Mr. Two Belts, Mr. Poppy Shiraz, and last but not least, Mr. 15 names himself. Tonight he is, I believe, Robbie
Armando Escobar.
Escobaritito. I call him Arugula. Go ahead, get in here.
What is happening? I get in my bag, baby.
I don't know what's happening with Amir, but we got him in the building. So, fellas, we was gone last week. We was on a short hiatus because we had different things. We was in the wind, but we back like we never left. Let's jump right into this thing with the NCAA. We saw Alabama go down.
Oh God, why we even got to start with that?
We gonna start right with that. I need to bring it straight to you. I noticed.
Why are we talking about Alabama?
I noticed the jerseys have been taken down. That's all I'm saying. They went down.
Why are we talking about it? They're irrelevant at this point.
They are. They're very relevant, and that's why we talk about them, because I needed everybody to know that they will not be in the college football playoff.
It happens. I'm trying to get like everybody else and get used to not being in it.
Well, LSU did go ahead and play spoiler to that. They granted your wish and won
They did a great job.
West title.
Yep, they looked amazing.
Vanderbilt shocked Kentucky. I'm not.
If anybody, I'm telling you right now, if
one of
y'all said y'all saw that, okay, there we go.
Because Vanderbilt hadn't won a SEC game in like what, 26 games, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. 26.
It was a crazy number. I can't remember the exact number. It was a crazy number.
All the way back to Jay Cutler.
Right. I think I chose the wrong words. I said I don't know if it was a shock, but I don't think nobody too much cared. I think that's where I meant to go with that. I don't think people cared about
as unbiased journalists.
That's true. We got to be.
We are.
We have to be unbiased.
That was huge. Well, I mean, yeah, some of us. That was huge.
Look, we got to be unbiased, I guess, when it comes to certain sports.
What are we pointing at? Who, me? What did I do?
That guy right there. Okay, all right. Oregon. They had on the fancy clothes and lost to Washington State.
That jersey is $400.
That jersey is nice. I like that jersey.
It is.
I would I'm a Gator fan through and through, but I would wear that Oregon jersey.
I would rock that
the
jersey.
girlfriend almost got me one until she went to check out, and that mug was $400. She was like, "No, thank you."
No, thank you.
Are you talking about 400? Are you saying 400 American dollars?
American, full with 2 zeros.
We're talking about pesos.
No, I just need to ask. Are we talking about won, yen, pesos?
I print off a picture.
Man,
I print off a picture and hold it and just sit it right there, right in the back. But
it's nice.
Okay,
it is nice.
Get the replica for like $80.
The replica of the jersey. All right, I don't need all that. UCLA, they play tomorrow. They playing USC, but they lost to Arizona. So do they still have hopes?
Yeah, I think that one's for the because they don't have a championship game anymore, if I'm not mistaken, right? Pac-12, no?
Pac-12?
Do they?
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
I thought they
thought it was whoever.
I thought they had one.
They did? We're going to get with the statistician.
I thought Pac-12 had one when they went to 12 teams.
Y'all go ahead and talk. I'll look it up. I honestly can't remember.
Well, we're going to find out a lot because the game is tomorrow, correct? The UCLA USC game?
Yep, that's tomorrow.
We're going to find out a lot because the picture is going to become very clear after that game because if USC can pull that off, there's nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, it's I mean, they fighting for it, so let's just hope we get us a good game.
But does it make them playoff bound if they win though?
I think if USC wins, it's possible.
It's possible
because the only reason I say that is because they're 6 right now. I think 6 or 7. USC is 6 or 7. Ohio State and Michigan, they still have to play each other.
Right.
So one of those are going to cancel each other out.
Hold on. Here's my thing. I would have more of an argument for Oregon if they only had lost the one game to Georgia.
Right.
And then that was it. I would have had an argument for them. But say Ohio State, Michigan still lose, they lost against each other. Right? You know what I'm saying? Where Tennessee, if they went out, they only lost to Georgia. So they'll have more of an argument than USC.
Would you, but let's say USC wins out. That means they would have won the Pac-12 championship. Mm-hmm. Would you leave a Tennessee out over a Pac-12 champion? Like, I know, it's been done in the past, but that was the Alabama war machine. That gets away with the one loss and not being a champion and getting into the playoff.
Don't put us in this. We ain't got nothing to do with your tomfoolery right now. We're not in this.
Y'all really don't got anything to do with it right now.
They pass a whole lot better than Tennessee, so that's probably why that happened.
Fleck, you brought up a good point though, because if LSU runs the table, they could quite possibly be the first two-loss team to make it to the playoffs.
I think they would be if
so.
They
you know what I'm saying?
But then in that case, would you leave Georgia out?
No, Georgia before.
Right, and this is all assuming that TCU wins out too.
Right,
because otherwise you have 2 spots opening up. If TCU
you look at Ohio State. Obviously, we're playing hypotheticals, but we're looking at Ohio State, Michigan winner being number 1, TCU being 2, LSU 3 by beating Georgia, and 4 Georgia, Tennessee.
I honestly think that if
USC
and I'm probably in the minority here. I honestly think if LSU beats Georgia, they're not going to be 3.
They're not going to be number 2.
They're going to be 2. Yeah, I think they'll be 2.
They're going to be number 2 because they'll be a team who has been undefeated.
The top 2 is going to be undefeated still. That's my argument. The top 2 is going to be undefeated.
It'll be
they take
so. This will be the thing.
The Ohio State Michigan winner will be number 1.
Right.
TCU. The only reason I say TCU, I don't think TCU, no matter if they win out or not, I don't think they get past 4.
They won't get past
4 no matter what.
Because their strength of schedule is not strong enough.
The schedule.
No.
Then LSU, Georgia, and all them teams.
No.
Look it up.
TCU.
As far as games remaining.
No, but they would take the schedule, the overall schedule from the year.
They would take the full schedule.
I'm just saying, if TCU runs the table and Ohio State, Michigan winner takes number 1.
I don't think TCU jumps up to 2, though.
Hold on. Here's another hypothetical, though. They got that playoff committee. They're looking at Michigan, Ohio State loser lost to the number 1 team, right? Georgia would have lost to a number 6, 7, 8 team at LSU, which means the loser of Ohio State, Michigan can overtake Georgia. Can, in an argument sense.
So, no, and that I can give you that.
Have a problem with.
But I don't think TCU will jump to 1 or 2. I don't. It would take a lot of chaos.
I would have them at 2. I would have them at 2 just based on the record.
It would take for me. It would take a lot of chaos to have it in front of them.
2 and 3 is irrelevant. Because they play each other. 2 and 3 is irrelevant. There's no home field advantage. You know what I'm saying? 2 and 3 is irrelevant.
Why not?
So
why is it irrelevant?
That's a good question.
Because there's no home field advantage. They're playing against each other. They only get to pick the color of the uniform. That's the advantage you get.
Neither one of them going to have home field though, because all of them.
Right, I was about to say one ain't gonna have home field advantages in a bowl game.
All of them playing in bowls.
That's what I'm saying. Right. There's no home field advantage, so 2 and 3 is irrelevant to me. It's the same.
But as the 1 seed, you want to play the lowest,
right?
Possible.
Yeah, and it won't be TCU. TCU would be 2 or 3. That's what I'm saying.
Tell you, this is what I'm saying. So, and I'm with Flick. Because of the strength of schedule Georgia has, because you got to look, Georgia started off with a top 10 Oregon, beat them down. Then they turned around, they beat Mississippi State, I want to say it was, when they were ranked. They beat Tennessee when they were in the top 5. Then, if they did lose, especially if it's a loss and it's a close loss, Georgia's still going to be at that 3 or 4, somewhere in there. LSU will jump high, exponentially high, because they'll knock off a number 1 team twice in the same year. I mean, the number 1 and the number 2 team, or a top ranked team. Sorry, Alabama won number 2, but anyway,
Alabama wasn't one.
They knocked off a number 1, and I know. I'm used to saying it. I can't help it. But anyway, they knock off a top ranked team twice in the same year, as well as knocking off a number. What was Ole Miss, number 7 at the time?
Florida was ranked at the time that
Florida was ranked. So that's the thing. LSU may have lost to Florida State at the beginning of the year and then had another loss, but they turned it around and they have knocked off some tough teams, and they have been on a tear.
That other loss was to Tennessee.
So that Florida State at the beginning, and then Tennessee, right?
And they got drugged by Tennessee.
Tennessee beat the brakes off.
Okay,
they told them.
Whoa.
That wasn't Tennessee.
That wasn't necessary. That was just
that's the other part.
That was so angry. All that wasn't necessary.
Say what you're about to say, Amir, because I think I know what you're about to say. But say what you're about to say.
No. Can I ask a question to the SEC expertise as you guys are? I don't have to fight SEC. Does LSU winning by 3 against Arkansas last week help them? It can't, right?
I don't think it has any effect on them. It don't hurt them. They went on the road in a hostile environment.
In the snow.
In the snow.
You guys definitely sound like SEC bias.
Trust me, you know.
You guys are
I hate LSU.
Right.
You guys are a bunch of flying bombs.
Arkansas always make LSU super hard, though.
I'm trying to look at this unbiased, though.
And everybody knows that Rob don't like nobody in the SEC. I don't care who you are. I don't like nobody. Even when we lose and everybody else is like, root for the other SEC teams. No, I hope they lose. I really want them to lose in whatever bowl game they go to. I don't like them. So, yeah, there's no bias with me. And I don't Fleck neither or Jim, because neither one of them want to see Alabama win. But the thing is, it's still right there in plain view. Like, they have the strength of schedule. They play in hard games in conference against teams that were ranked.
I can see if that 3-point win was against Vanderbilt.
Bingo.
Then we would be like, okay, yeah, you got a point.
Arkansas is no better.
Arkansas is not
much better. It's not much
better.
They
are much better.
No, they are much better.
They are much
better.
You're talking about a 5th place team against a 7th place team in the division.
Why are they where they're at?
There's 2 places.
Huh?
Yeah.
Why are they where they're at?
What are they at?
Who?
Arkansas.
Injuries.
Because they're in the SEC. Nobody cares about them. No, if they play anywhere else.
No, the top reason is injuries for them.
Injuries, exactly.
I'm gonna go ahead and put a pin in this. And before I move on, I'm gonna say that I don't like Alabama, and I hope none of the players win anything, but I hope they become successful human beings. But let's go ahead and move forward, because we can talk about this.
that whole thing didn't even feel right. The way
I don't want them to win no games. I just want them to be successful human beings and don't go to jail, but don't win no games. I don't need that. Unless you get to the NFL and then you become successful on a team that I like on my fantasy team.
I'm so dead.
Or get drafted by the Raiders.
Get drafted by the Raiders. Apparently, when Alabama lost, they decided the SEC will no longer have divisions or conferences, because they went ahead and changed that in 2025.
Hey, we ain't got nothing to do with that.
Nick Saban had too much power, and he needed to be stopped.
I think that's where all the conferences are moving toward, though.
Yeah,
I think all the conferences are going to eventually eliminate the divisions and the top two teams.
Yeah, and I think they did it because, I mean, they have all these teams. They have so many teams in each conference that's why they did it. But they're doing it after they get Texas and Oklahoma because they'll have 14 teams.
That makes sense.
So yeah,
it makes all the sense in the world.
And honestly, because Texas and Oklahoma will both be on the west side, then it would make it unbalanced unless they move somebody over to the eastern side. So that makes perfect sense. Or you could be in Notre Dame and just be by yourself.
Well, it was going to be
LSU. It's all on the same side.
It was going to be too much confusion.
Yeah, they're all in the west.
They're all in the west still. Yeah, they were going to move it.
You still have to move somebody to the east. You would have to almost move Auburn to the east. And they're not going to split up Alabama.
Why Alabama not on the east? Is Alabama?
No, they were going to move.
Auburn is closer to the east than Alabama is. Alabama plays in Tuscaloosa on the western part of the state.
They had already planned to move Alabama and Auburn. If they did do the move, they were going to move us to the east. Georgia don't want Alabama and Auburn in the same conference as Florida, Georgia, because all that does is move over the power scale over
no
to
parts
the
of that
east side again in South Carolina when they on good.
So it'd be the winner out of all of that against LSU.
Everybody.
So right now, because we're kind of stuck on SEC talk, and I know some people like the one that just left don't like SEC talk like that. So
we go switch it up real quick because you're talking about the SEC, and anybody from the SEC could go undefeated at any given time. We saw. Because we'll go to the NFL now. We'll go to the pros, the people that play on Sundays. We thought we was going to have somebody that was going to rival the 72 Dolphins, but the Washington Commandants, Commandos,
the Comanche Chiefs,
I still call them the Washington football team myself.
The Washington Computers.
They said, no. What's up, cousin? My cousin in there, Kira. Let's talk to the people real quick. Tito, you did make it tonight. Good job. I don't know what
Tito, I dislike you. You beat me last week, so I don't like you.
You don't like Tito? Oh, okay. Tito, we don't like you today. We don't like you today because you beat me last week.
He beat me down last week, so I'm not a fan.
So what y'all think happened to the Philadelphia Eagles last week to make them that epic collapse? And I'm gonna just point out, I'm very upset at AJ Brown. I don't know what you was doing, sir. You act like you was in Tennessee again. I don't know what was happening. Get your life together, because I needed you to win fantasy, and you went crazy. I don't know. What
we're not going to do is do that.
You had one catch. I don't like it.
You got hurt though. I don't know if that's what
that's an excuse. It's an excuse. It's a crutch. You're acting like you're in Tennessee. You're not in Tennessee. Play right,
sir.
Jesus, he is throwing it at y'all, ain't it?
Right. He came with all the violence tonight.
I did.
I mean, all of it. So he got his face mask on and everything. Jesus.
Like, I'm hurt. Oh, my leg.
And that's why you lost.
Hey, say it one more time. Jim, one more time. How'd he do it? How'd he do it still?
That's how he was. He was like, oh, my leg. I'm still yelling.
And that's why you lost.
Sit your little soft.
Oh.
But anyway, what happened with Philly? What happened?
Couldn't stop the run, and secondary looked good, but they couldn't stop the run, and they were making untimely drops. I've never seen so many drops in a game, and then compounded by AJ Brown gets hurt, Goddard get hurt, like
that Goddard thing hurt him. For real.
It's really, that's going to really affect them moving forward. I'm just saying, because Goddard is on IR for at least 4 weeks, maybe longer.
4 weeks.
So
I need a refund.
Hey, the guy I traded you with didn't even play the first week.
Hey, that's you knew what you were getting.
That's
two you need a refund for, right?
You drove that off the lot as is.
There is no lemon laws when it comes to fantasy players.
That's two of them you need a refund for because Keenan Allen ain't played all season. Although I heard he was at practice.
Goodness. He was at practice this week.
I heard he'd been at practice this week. So
dude, I done gave up in that league. I ain't even.
It's an outside shot.
I'm past that. I'm past it. And I would be really upset if James Robinson was doing anything, but I mean, he's doing nothing either. So it's like, but hey, whatever.
I mean, I can still put him in the game if need be. That's all.
Well, I mean, I could put Keenan Allen in too, and they're going to get the same amount of points.
James Robinson has been doing
0.
He's been doing 3 to 5 points sometimes. Right now, he's projected to get 7 points. He's not going to do that though.
Mr. Marshall, we just got done talking about the Bulldogs.
We talked about the Bulldogs, but we ain't gonna talk about them no more because they don't warrant any more of our time.
Don't nobody want to talk about them.
Hey, there's Mr. 0-10 checking in. Mr. 0-10 checking in.
Mr. 0-10, Lord.
Mr. 0-10 checking in. My boy Harding.
So the Buffalo Bills. First of all, that was a game to rival games for this season. The Bills and the Vikings. Everybody saw the catch. Everybody still wondering how Justin Jefferson made that catch because that was just ridiculous.
Amazing.
That catch was dumb.
Is anybody worried about Buffalo right now? Because they've been on a little slide.
Well, I mean, they about to be on the road for the next 3 weeks.
They
got 2 road games back to back in Detroit because they got snowed out of their home game. And then they play in Detroit for Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought they played in Detroit Sunday.
They do. And then they play again Thursday
as well. Yep.
So they
got back-to-back road games in Detroit.
Gotcha. I wasn't paying attention to them because I mean they're pointless. Everybody knows that. But
anybody who has Josh Allen for these next 2 games, prepare to get a boatload of points because I'm sure he is about to throw his whole entire shoulder out of place.
And if you got Gabe Davis, you might want to have him as wide receiver.
Yeah, you might. You definitely want to have somebody part of that wide receiver core for the Bills because they're about to collect some points.
So but we talked about Buffalo. What's going on with the Vikings? Because they looking real spectacular. Now they haven't played but 1 game in prime time. So is that the reason? Is Kirk Cousins really not terrible when he don't play in primetime games?
No, he's still.
Go ahead, Amir. I already know what Amir about this. Go ahead.
And I've been waiting on this. Come on, Amir.
I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to say that the Vikings are winning in spite of Kirk Cousins. They're going down 2 touchdown leads the last 2, 3, 4 games. If y'all noticed, they was down 14 to Commanders last week, and they pulled it off. And I believe the game before that, they were down. Kirk Cousins gets his interceptions out the way in the first half. For some reason, there's 2 tails of Kirk Cousins.
That's a good way to do it.
I wish the tail we didn't see was him on the plane, like Mr. T doing the Harlem Shake. I wish we didn't see that, but we saw it. Okay? What you like about that? You like me now? No, I don't like any of that. Okay? Whatever his phrase, I don't like any of that. Kirk Cousins need to be humble. Yeah, whatever it is.
Who they play?
Put a team around him to win.
Dallas.
Dalvin Cook is a beast. Justin Jefferson, OMG.
Monster.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
And then he just got TJ, huh?
Thielen hasn't been Thielen. Yeah, Thielen hasn't been Thielen. Hockenson is come in and done some wonders. But it's still not enough for Minnesota to say they're quite possibly the worst 8-1 team or whatever their record is in football.
8-1.
They're equivalent. Let me put it to you this way. When the Steelers started 12-0 a couple seasons ago, and everybody was like, they ain't nothing, and they were out in the first round when they got blown out by the Browns, that's the same team we're looking at right now. They have to be better. And yes, they can be better.
I trust
but they're winning in spite of Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at with that team.
All right.
I like them. I like the weapons they have.
Hey, look,
but Kirk Cousins has to play better.
I'm like this. I don't care how you win as long as you win. They're beating the teams that are put in front of them.
Look, well played, sir.
However, ugly win, pretty win. A win is a win.
A dub is a dub.
Guess
You
what?
are absolutely correct.
If
One
you,
team. Go ahead.
One second, deal.
Hold on,
If you put lipstick on a pig, guess what? It's still a fucking pig.
Lord.
So guess what? If you get a win,
let
whether it's ugly or not, it's a win.
retort on that.
He,
You know what I'm
he
saying?
is really from Alabama.
You're not wrong. You're not.
He's really from Alabama.
You're not wrong.
Whoa,
But the
wait a
Eagles
minute.
just lost the Commanders.
That's 2. You said what?
2? Oh yeah, basically. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm talking about Jim. Talking to Jim.
Go ahead.
That's my thing. Yes, you win against the teams that are in front of you, but then you lose ugly to the Commanders like the Eagles just did.
Right.
And that's my thing. When you win ugly, you can lose easily.
And that's true.
And that's my argument.
But
At this point,
I'll
we're thinking
take-
playoffs.
I'll take 15 ugly wins versus 1 pretty win.
Mhm.
I'm just saying.
I'm
Like,
gonna
I
take all
don't
of
care.
those.
Let me go back to
Yeah.
last season. Hold on. You got me going, so let me hit you in the heartstring just a little bit, Fleck. What happened to the Titans in the playoffs? All those ugly wins.
Tannehill happened.
Oh,
And then the
Tannehill
playoffs happened. What happened?
Tannehill happened.
Did you feel that? Did you feel that?
That's
I feel like
exactly my
somebody
point.
stuck you.
You
Tannehill
win
happened.
ugly, you're going to lose
Right.
easily.
Okay.
Emotional damage.
Violence.
So I know, right? Why is it everybody against it?
Damn.
Good.
He
No, I'm
is-
just
he
trying
is
to
chosen
dig in my
violence.
point where,
My
yes, they're playing the teams that's in front of them,
Hey.
but the eye
He is.
test is telling you they're not good.
Mr. Marshall just reiterated what I'm talking about. An ugly win is always better than a pretty loss. I don't care.
Until you lose.
I don't care
easily.
how you win, just win.
I mean, Allen Iverson said
Until
it
you
best. I
can't,
go
though.
0 for Winfrey, then have 50 in the loss.
And I mean,
I don't
think
care how
about
you
this though.
win, just win.
But
I get it.
think about this
But
though.
until
If
you
you get
can't-
those ugly wins and you are able to build off of it, and your team becomes stronger because you see what holes you have in your game, then it's good. But if you go and you have an ugly win and you can't build off of it, an ugly win is just like Amir said to me. It's just setting you up for a playoff loss later down the line. That's the way I look at
I
it.
worry about that when I get there.
I get there.
You can't get there without the ugly wins, though.
That's
Hold on.
The ugly wins got you to the playoffs.
I'm glad you agree with me, Rob, because guess what? You can't fix Kirk Cousins. You
You do
can't
what?
fix Kirk Cousins.
yeah.
No, you
Kirk-
can't. Hell
Kirk
no,
Cousins
you
is Kirk
can't.
Cousins.
There you go. Do the dance.
Do it.
Do
Do it.
the dance.
Let's go. Let's do the dance. I tell you one team that ain't getting no ugly wins and ain't gonna be sniffing the playoffs. And now with the news that came out a couple of days ago, they really ain't gonna be because Cooper Kupp is on the IR. The Los Angeles Rams.
Did he just change hats like in mid sentence?
He did. He transitioned hats like I transitioned that to the Rams.
Wait a minute, Pineapple. Did you do the same thing to him, man? Did you change hats?
You. This
Y'all
has
both
been
changed
going,
hats?
this has been going on for months, sir.
Yeah, we've been doing this for weeks.
It's been going on for
I'm so
months.
done. I'm done. Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry, my bad. What the hell? I just looked. I was like, what the hell just happened? I was like, wait. I'm done.
For months, sir. You just not paying
Go
attention.
ahead. You right.
So Cooper Kupp is down. I know this is a rather stupid question because I know the answer to it, but are the Rams, are they on a
Trash.
Super Bowl hangover, or were they really just not that good in the first place?
Are they dumpster truck juice?
Losing Von Miller hurts.
Badly.
Losing Whitworth hurts.
Badly.
Whit did it.
Boom. Right there. Right there. Stays on that point right there. You're right.
Whitworth.
I'm agreeing with you.
That was
Whitworth.
spot on.
That was
Whitworth
enough
is it.
for that run.
He's
That run offense stopped the moment he left.
Soon as it left.
The run
He
offense,
is
the
irreplaceable.
pass
Offense
protection,
changed completely for some reason.
Irreplaceable.
the pass protection, and you already didn't have 100% Matthew Stafford coming into the season because he had that surgery. He had was it elbow surgery?
Hell, when is he
A
ever
shoulder?
100%? He's never 100%. He's always hurt. But he plays through it usually, but not this time.
So it's like, was the team really not that good last year, or was it just the people that they lost the
I think it's a
those
combination.
positions?
I think it's a combination too.
I'll
You see
take
the comment in John Marshall put in here. He's a Georgia Bulldog, but Matt Stafford is the most suspect possible future Hall of Famer of all times.
I'll take that.
He's
Spot on.
definitely gonna be a Hall of Famer.
I'll take that. We didn't
He's gonna be,
got
but
the stats.
we didn't need to comment about the Georgia Bulldog though,
He's
because I
got
can
the
say
stats.
the reason
I
why
seen
they're
that
losing is because of the missing LSU Tiger on that offensive line and Andrew Whitworth, but I ain't gonna go there. I'm not gonna even mention that part.
But you just
Whitworth is irreplaceable. He was a leader in the locker room and everything.
So,
mentioned it.
I didn't.
The Rams last year, just like the Bengals, went on a hot streak at the end. Every year we see that in NFL team gets hot towards the end. They bring it to the postseason, and then those ugly losses get better because they got hotter. They're not winning the same way every week. So
I think
once
them not
Wentworth
having
went down, once Wentworth went down, the running game went off, which means they don't have to stop the box. They don't have to stack the box anymore. They can play that zone against Stafford. They don't have Odell to go, whatever which way.
That's what I was about to say.
Because and Cooper Kupp didn't need Odell. Obviously, Cooper Kupp was the only shining moment, player that the Rams had. He still get his numbers.
Having
That dude
Odell
was
helped.
legit. That dude is
Having
legit.
Odell helped.
But now that he's out, the Rams are even more done. Because we look at it, you're like the Seahawks are first place. They're catchable.
Mm-hmm.
They are. They're catchable. But the 49ers don't seem to catch them. No, the Rams, they could have. Because it wasn't like they were dominant. Huh?
I said, you're right. The Seahawks are catchable, but it won't be the Rams that catch them.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It'll be that team that this guy's winning.
Right.
What guy?
Other side.
What guy? You pointed to your head.
There you go.
Well, if the 49ers win, if they beat the Cardinals in Mexico, then they will overtake the Seahawks since they beat the Seahawks earlier this year. They'll have a tie record, but they'll overtake them.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it won't be the Rams the Rams ain't catching nobody this year.
The
Rams done. And then the
Rams go catch the Saints.
Their first round draft pick for like the next 40 years.
They do not.
That's it. There you go. That's who they're gonna catch. They're gonna catch the lottery.
No,
they're gonna catch the NFL lottery.
Coming in.
They don't have no.
They got a second round pick. I think they got this year. They don't have a first round pick for a while though.
Yeah,
no.
They gave him up for Odell and Matt Stafford
and Von Miller too.
Yep,
and Von Miller.
At least they spent them on different players.
In the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They got him a Super Bowl out of it. I mean, I guess, you know what I'm saying? I'd trade a few first rounders if I can get a Super Bowl too.
Wayne said the Rams catching the bus to Mexico. Why did Rams go?
And that's pretty much it.
That is right on point.
Shout out to
One city that needs to go ahead and hide their masseuses right now because the boys got Cleveland. Deshaun Watson is back at practice, y'all. They opened up the window. He'll be back in a couple of weeks on the field, but
massage convention is in Cleveland, right?
Stop it. Don't do that. Don't you do that.
No, it is. No, I'm not even being funny. It is.
Are you serious?
Some kind of masseuse convention is going to be in Cleveland.
It's 100% in Cleveland.
Lord have mercy. Increase security.
We can't make this up.
Look,
we can't make this up.
They don't
need to increase. They got his picture up at the thing.
You can't make this up. That's the crazy part. You can't make it up.
This can't be real.
Security have his picture.
Word is that's why he didn't go to Atlanta because he heard the masseuse convention was going to be in Cleveland.
This is so bad.
They got so bad.
It was like, how they say now in the NFL, well, it's sports, period. They'll tell the agents, look for your own trade, and they will blast off on it because you already know you're gone. And for some reason, he knew the suspension when he's coming back. And when he was like, circle, biggest day, Cleveland.
Exactly.
And it was like, going back that same weekend. And Howie Rosenthal, whatever his agent was like, I got you. And then boom, he went from Houston to Cleveland, and his first game was the weekend for the masseuse
They in
convention
Houston.
of America, not of Cleveland, of America.
America. Oh my goodness!
And Deshaun Watson
Like,
signed.
we are not making this up.
He signed that extension like this.
100% factual.
I appreciate it,
so
y'all.
I'm
gonna be
so
at
done.
that convention. Wayne Bama said New Orleans needs some crab legs. New Orleans need Jesus. Okay, you know they got the Saints, but they don't have Jesus with the Saints, and I don't know why
they got redhead Jesus.
I don't know why Dennis Allen is sticking with Andy Dalton.
They got redheaded Jesus,
but you know, go ahead and do your thing if you want to stick with Andy
nephew.
Dalton. There he is, my guy, A Jizzle. You chilling, brother? What you got to say about sports today?
Oh, let's go the handsome man, my guy. What's
you got
up,
dinosaur sports?
My
dinosaur
guy
nephew?
AJ.
You're like, I'm out. I gotta go get the dinosaurs. Go ahead and do your thing, nephew.
And y'all leave the Tiger Woods of football alone.
Amir, you had your season finale last week with baseball. They had some awards happen this week. So tell us about the awards. Tell us who won the things.
I want to start off that I predicted every single one of the awards except for one. And that was Alcantara. Because I had
you had Strider winning the Rookie of the Year too.
I said either Strider or Harris would have won. I was going either way with that one. But I had the National League Cy Young at Julio Urias. And that's what I thought was going to be the winner. For the second straight year, he came in second place. So the National League Cy Young went to Sandy Alcantara, which is deserving. He was the best pitcher. He just, unfortunately, he pitches for Miami. So he doesn't get the praise that he deserves. You'll see him because he's going to represent the Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic 2023. Obviously, I had Justin Verlander. He won unanimously in the American League. We knew that at 39, 40 years old, you know. To kind of throw up the drama of it, his wife, Kate Upton, went live after they won the World Series, said he can play as many years as he wants. I am not your seven. She said that. I didn't. She was like, I am not that chick. He can play as long as he wants.
Taking shots at Brady.
He did. Well, she did. She did. The MVPs for me was obvious. Paul Goldschmidt in St. Louis. And as much competition, Aaron Judge, even though he had a great, amazing year. And that's the reason he won, because you don't have a year like that and not win the MVP. But you can't take away what Shohei Ohtani and Jordan Alvarez did in their seasons as well. Because if there wasn't an Aaron Judge, either one of those would have been the MVP. You know, that's how good a season they had. So now the question is, where does Aaron Judge play? There's a contract on the table for Aaron Judge. The Yankees stupidly, I think that's a word, right? Stupidly said today he is on the clock. You do not say that when you're talking about the reigning, defending American League MVP. You literally don't say you're on the clock. That means the ball is in your court and you're forcing him to sign. That's the dumbest thing you can say when you're desperate as an organization as the Yankees are. And I will say it as a Yankees fan, we're desperate to keep Aaron Judge because he was the only player that was consistent last year. He was the reason people were tuning into the Yankees. And as good as they started, they fell off like horribly. And the only reason people were watching them that are not Yankees fans was to see Aaron Judge break that record, which he did, the American League record, not Major League. We want to throw that out there. But without him, there's no ratings in New York. And we get it. The Yankees fans, we're going to be loyal. We are. But we shouldn't be giving away the reigning MVP. So that's where I'm at with that.
Do you think he comes back, though?
I do.
Like, unbiased.
No, I do. I'm going to tell you why. Because they brought back his boys. They just signed Anthony Rizzo the other day, which they couldn't afford him. And they brought him back first. They're letting him know that, hey, we're going over the cap. We're going to pay the tax. We're going to sign everybody that you want within reason, which means Giancarlo Stanton's coming back on his contract, which is he already had his contract because he was looking to be cut, for casualty. just to sign Judge, but they said, no, we're bringing everybody back. IKF, the shortstop, got signed today, 1 year, $6 million. Rizzo the other day, 2 years, $33 million. So they're letting them know all our guys are coming back. The team is coming back. And you led that team, and we have to win with you.
Well,
about 15 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm hearing that the Dodgers are.
Yeah, I was about to say 15 minutes ago it came out that the Dodgers
they didn't cleared up $100 million.
They shed off $100 million to.
They did because they didn't re-sign Trey Turner and Cody Bellinger today. Well, Cody Bellinger they didn't. Trey Turner's already a free agent, and he's a $200 million free agent. Got that. But by now re-signing Cody Bellinger, they're trying to create that space. But if Judge is going to California, he's going to the Giants. He's not going to the Dodgers. And yes, the Dodgers can throw up as much money as they want. Don't get me wrong. In baseball, it's not a hard tax. You know, they got that luxury cap. So they can spend the money. They can. But Mookie Betts is already there.
Right.
Mookie Betts and Aaron Judge play the same position. So in conscious, it's not going to be a good fit per se.
Well,
but one is clear, one is right.
Right. Well, one thing that I'm hearing is they going after Judge, and in doing so, that's the reason why they're willing to let Trey Turner walk, because they'll move Mookie to shortstop and have Judge in the outfield.
I heard
no,
that
Mookie's not going to shortstop. Mookie is barely a second baseman.
Or second.
I heard him doing the
second base. That's what I meant.
I'm telling you, Mookie Betts is barely
Gavin Lux at shortstop.
I hear what you're saying. I'm just telling you what I heard. But
and I heard the same things. Yeah, I heard the same.
Yeah, Mookie Betts is not going to be an everyday shortstop.
No, they had
tell you this.
They had Mookie going to second. Gavin Lux going to short, and then Judge going to
I'm going to tell you. And you're probably going to hear it here first. Expect something along the lines of a Dansby Swanson, Freddie Freeman connection in LA.
And I obviously as a Braves fan, I want to keep Swanson. I want the Braves to keep Swanson, but it has to make sense. I know Liberty Media is only going to spend X amount of dollars, so it has to make sense.
Right.
It's not going to be on the same level as losing Freeman last year for me.
Right.
So Swanson wants, I think, 120 million, 4 or 5 years, something like that.
He wants 25. He wants 23 to 25 million a year.
The Braves are not spending more than 20 million on the shortstop.
Right.
So when they already have somebody coming up as well.
Right.
So they're saying, you know what? They'll look for more of a stopgap to get the shortstop they want that's in the minors.
Well, he's actually
on the season.
He's actually on Grissom. He's actually on the major league roster, but they're sending him to work with Ron Washington, who's sort of a shortstop whisperer, to get him up to speed. So I don't think Swanson comes back unless
sending him to where? To
who? Grissom.
Sending him to
Grissom. He's working
with
Ron Washington. Whisperer, you say? Ron Washington. What's funny? Go ahead.
Ron Washington is not a shortstop whisperer. Well, he's whispering because he's probably deaf, but he ain't.
Wow.
It's not. He's not a shortstop whisperer. I'm sorry. Now he knows baseball, no doubt. Ron Washington is a legend. He knows baseball. I'm not cutting but. They're high on Grissom. So they don't want somebody long term when they really believe Grissom is going to be ready in 2024 instead of 2023.
I think they roll with him in 2023.
Right.
And they got no choice. No, I'm saying they don't sign somebody say, hold on. They can offer somebody like Xander Bogaerts a Carlos Correa contract, 1 year, $33 million, and be just fine. The Braves can do that for 1 or 2 seasons.
Then why not? If they were gonna do that, why not just give Dansby Swanson 3 years, whatever it is that he was asking?
Swanson wants 5-6. Swanson wants a long term.
If you throw $30 million at Swanson, if you throw a 3-year, $90 million deal at Swanson, you don't think he would take it?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean,
I would.
Could he get a better deal
Obviously, I'll
somewhere
take
else?
it.
He would. I mean,
I think
that
he would
or
too.
a five-year, $120 million contract versus a 3-year, $90 million contract.
There's like six teams around the rim that are losing shortstops that are high caliber shortstops, and Correa might end up going back to Minnesota because Minnesota is realizing, hey, we can fix what we got, and they're offering him a long-term contract as we speak right now. So Carlos Correa, honestly, I think the only reason it's keeping him out of Minnesota is because he's Puerto Rican, don't like the cold. I'm just throwing it out there. He doesn't want to be in Minnesota. He wants to be in a hot weather team. Like, that's the only reason it's keeping him long-term. He built up the reputation this year of going to a crappy team and playing really well from All-Star break on. And he's looking for like a $28 million, 5-6-year deal as well. So you're talking about Xander Bogaerts. You're talking about Trey Turner. You're talking about Carlos Correa. You're talking about Swanson.
Yeah.
It's
going to be a lot of
shortstops out
there. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of, like you said, all-star caliber shortstops. Not just shortstops. All-star caliber shortstops.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, free agency has been slow because it takes one guy and then everybody else got to fall in place.
Right. So it's all about when he get that.
And I think they're waiting on Judge. I think once Judge signs to wherever he's going,
then everything will move. And that's
everybody
else
else is going to fall in place.
Yep, 100%. So we talked about baseball, we talked about football. Let's move on to basketball real quick. NCAA, they back. Louisville started out 0-3. Each of them losses by 1 point. Is it hard on the team when you that close and you still lose?
Yes. Yes, no question. I mean, think about it. You were that close to having a win, and you end up coming up short by one free throw or a bucket you converted and played defense after. You could have easily won by 2 points if you played better defense or if a call went a separate way. So this is the first time Louisville has fell to 0-3 by one. That started off their season like this since 1940. They have not had a season start like this since 1940.
Dang.
And the last team, okay, I'll pose this question. What was the last team to lose their first 3 games by 1 point?
Ain't nobody gonna know the answer to that question.
And I'm talking about Division I, starting off 0-3 by 1 point.
No, I hear what you're talking about, but I can guarantee.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, and what's even more horrible.
I'm going with Duke.
Nope.
Kentucky.
Every answer always ends up in Duke. I don't know why.
Kentucky out there.
And look,
a team in Boston.
Flip, you're gonna be like, I should have known this.
Florida,
because it's
Alabama?
a SWAC team. It
ain't state, is it?
No, it's Prairie View A&M. They are the last team to start.
Look, I don't feel stupid
0-3 and lost by 1 point.
He got his hand up. Yes, Amir.
Rob, why would we know that? Why would we know a Prairie View A&M, not even Prairie View State, not even Prairie View University, Prairie View A&M and a SWAT?
Hey, look, Jimmy said, you gonna feel stupid. No, I don't, because I don't.
But you don't remember? Look, I don't look. I
don't remember, and you're not going to make me remember.
It's 7,000 college basketball teams in the country. You want us to remember that?
And the only reason why I say that is because the SWAT, literally, Prairie View went on the longest losing streak in college basketball.
Now that I remember, but you said
I remember
the first 3 losses by 1 point.
And that's why I said
that's what I don't remember.
And a lot of people are not going to remember it because it falls into the realm of, oh crap, they lost a whole bunch of damn games.
No, that falls into the realm of, oh crap, I'm really watching every college basketball game that comes on TV.
Yeah, I ain't got time.
Hey,
I got time for that.
I just happen to do. That's just something I happen to, that happen to.
Hey, look, Amir's our baseball guy. You're our college basketball guy.
Straight like
I'm
that.
impressed. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am impressed.
I am too.
See, I thought you were gonna say somebody ACC, somebody
Right.
out of Big East. You
And
know
then
what I'm
when
saying?
and then when he said, Fleck, you're gonna, I'm like, damn, did Florida lose like that?
And the only reason why I said that because they were
You
part
got
of the
me.
SWAC, Alabama State. You know,
Right.
we keep up
That's
with
the
those
crib.
games
I
usually, but
understand.
that's crib. But yeah, it's Prairie View. They went on the longest college basketball losing streak in the history of college basketball.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I was looking around. I thought I had went crazy. I was like, I don't know the answer to this question.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely not.
I'm not.
So-
Initially, I felt like I should have felt embarrassed, but then I was like, nah, ain't nobody gonna know that
No,
shit.
no,
So
no.
who cares?
Look,
I really thought he was gonna throw like a big like North Carolina Tar Heels
Yeah.
in '82 under Roy Williams, and then turn around and win the championship. I'm like, you're right. I remember that year. But no, you went a completely different way with it. Like, why do we know about Prairie View? The only prairie I know is about dogs. Prairie dogs I know more about than Prairie View. Okay? And
Well,
I'm not from the country, and I know that much.
Speaking of
I'm with Amir on
dogs,
that one.
speaking of dogs, though, Amir, Gonzaga, they bulldogs, right?
they are
Yeah.
the Bulldogs.
Okay,
They
so
lost to Texas, right?
I'm going to say two things before I answer that question. Rob, I am impressed with your knowledge of college basketball and Prairie and SWAC knowledge, and I am impressed
Was that?
with Jimmy how you transition from one dog to the other. You're getting a
He's
lot
learning.
better. I'm
He's
impressed. sir.
learning.
I am impressed.
He's
Okay,
learning.
now
I'll be practicing on a weekly, and
In front of the mirror.
this
Get
this
in front of
something,
the mirror.
something that has to happen. I have a script. I do my script analysis and everything else. Just like when I do my auditions. Which reminds me, I have 2 I need to do tonight, y'all. So y'all it's gonna be on the big screen. Y'all go see it. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be fantastic. I'm gonna let y'all know when it
Hey,
happens.
gentlemen, I have to bounce out because I gotta take a ride to a Friday Night Lights game. Hey, look, it's been real. Hey, all sports matter. Always love being on here with my brothers.
Hey, get
And,
some clips.
Y'all keep it pimping.
Get some clips
All
for the
right, my
show.
brother.
Hey, look,
Get
love
interviews
y'all.
with
Love you too,
interviews
brother.
with the athletes. Love you.
already one.
Be out there. All right, the big man, the big fella is gone, but we still talking about some sports.
Robbie Armando Escobar.
I don't
I don't know about y'all, but that was impressive.
I don't know what any of
It
the names
was.
came from. That was ridiculous.
It was.
It was.
I don't
It
know
was
why he
very-
thought
That
that.
was
I would know
equivalent.
that, but it was.
Hold on. That was equivalent to the movie Old School where Will Ferrell blacked out on a debate and then answered
Yeah.
that long question.
He
Then went
went-
back to being dumb.
He went real
Like-
crazy on James Carville.
Like that, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I didn't know
He
where it came
snapped
from.
back in.
He's like a beautiful
I
mind.
was
I didn't know what
impressed.
happened. Sheesh.
He did his thing.
Goodness.
He
So-
did his thing.
So Gonzaga lost to Texas. I mean,
It's college
It's still-
basketball early on is
still
not a
early,
big deal.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's not. It's the one sport where you cannot win a game until New Year's and still make it to the
Right.
championship.
I
Like
can.
college basketball, it's a whole, it's a whole everybody. There's a new number one usually almost every week.
I can 100% tell y'all. I can confide in y'all this secret. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody else. I always every year I forget about college basketball until December.
I forget about it
100%
until
forget.
April.
I was like, what?
Nah,
I mean,
I
until
watched
March
that for 2
Madness.
years.
Until March Madness, I forget
Right.
about it.
Like they
I
playing
watched that
already?
for New Year's.
And it'd be like Christmas. They be having the Christmas tournaments. I'm like, they playing? Oh, all right. What? All right then.
I'm
well-
still in college football mode. I'm
Right.
still in football mode.
So we gonna-
NBA.
we gonna talk about a few of the people that lost real quick and then move on. Gonzaga lost to Texas. I guess that was a big deal. Duke, that's always a big deal when they lose, and they lost to Kansas. Which,
But, I mean,
Kansas not a
Kansas-
bad team.
Yeah, and I think Duke is having that Coach K is gone hangover.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's
But
like, give them
it's-
time.
yeah. It's like you said, you got till February. You'll be all right. Michigan State, they beat up on Kentucky. And Syracuse. Now Syracuse losing to Colgate. Number one, I was very surprised by this because I thought Colgate was a toothpaste. So to hear that Syracuse,
and I guess Syracuse is gingivitis.
Apparently, really apparently, because I mean,
I'm trying to transition here.
I didn't know what was happening, but yeah. So
hold on, you supposed to say, speaking of breath stinking, how about those Lakers or the Warriors in the room? Like, that's how you transition to the next sport.
Hey, nah, he went.
Yeah. Am I wrong? I don't know.
We do have something. Okay, all right. I didn't know we had anything on the notes about the Lakers because they've been so terrible. So, all right, let's go there then.
Has LeBron quit on him?
I mean, wouldn't you?
I mean, it's his team. He put this team together.
He did. It's his team. So
how you gonna quit on the team that you put together?
Here's how I notice
he did that in Cleveland and Miami. Team. So, are you surprised?
LeBron has played with injuries his whole career. I think it's the first time he says, "You know what? I'm gonna sit out and rest this injury." And they can't blame the loss on me.
He did that his first year in LA. He did that his first year in LA when he started sitting down. When he first started getting the groin injuries, he was like, I got to sit out. I always
that was a legit groin injury though.
Right, but that's when he first started sitting out.
This is 38-year-old LeBron saying
this team ain't no damn good.
He 38.
I put them together. I'm sorry.
He's 38. That's what it is. His knees is hurting now. He been up and down. So another person who is always oft injured, Mr. Ben Simmons. I'm hearing rumblings that is people within the Nets organization that's growing frustrated with him. Although he did come back the other day, when it was yesterday, and he had 17, 15. Yeah, so, but
this is my thing with him. Everybody's like, because he scored 11 points the game before. And everybody's like, oh, Ben Simmons scored 11 points. Dude, I'm paying you $100 million. I expect double that. I expect
29 points.
At least double that. Let me say it that way. At least double that. I'm paying you over $100 million. I'm not going to get happy that you scored 11 points.
Exactly.
I'm not going to get happy that you scored 11 points.
I need
15,
3 steals.
12, and 7, that's a little bit more encouraging because that's what we thought we were getting when we got you. The guy that can rebound the ball, the guy that can dish out the assist. He's never been a huge scorer. So the 15 points were nice, but the 12 and the 7 is what I expect from.
But you're an assist guy, so I expect you to get double-digit assists. 7 isn't what I brought you in here for.
But he's not the starting point guard.
Right, he's coming off the bench too.
I don't care.
They got Kyrie coming back Sunday, by the way. Kyrie's coming back on Sunday.
Kyrie is coming back.
And then that's another story, too, how, KD kind of, sort of, threw the other
let me tell you something.
4 members of the starting 5 under the bus.
Let me tell you something about KD and how petty he is. Kevin Durant is by far the pettiest dude in the NBA, without a doubt. He will throw his teammates under the bus with reckless abandon, and he don't care.
I don't think he named them though. I think it was the internet that blew that up. He said
what he said though. Hold on, before you get into it, Amir. I'm asking this though. Was he wrong? Was he wrong?
But you don't say that. Everybody knows it. You don't have to say what we know.
His words were, if you look at the roster, they're expecting me to carry the team and win. That's all he said. The internet took it as, he said Joe Harris. He said Seth Curry. He said
because what he said was, people expect me to win with that start. I don't know if he said it exactly like that with that starting five.
He said if you look at the roster,
He said look at the
He's
starting
still wrong.
five.
Yeah,
He said
no, he's still
starting
wrong.
five.
He said,
He
look at
didn't
the
say
starting five.
roster.
People expect number 7 to do it.
Exactly. That's what he said.
Which basically
still
means
wrong.
I know we're not saying he went wrong. We're definitely not saying that. We're definitely not saying that he was wrong for saying it.
Right.
But was he wrong?
No, he wasn't.
But what
He
if
wasn't
that's true?
wrong.
Hold on. John Marshall got a good point here. He said, what did he motivate those guys?
And he did, because the next game, you got a triple-double from one. You got Joe Harris, I think, had almost 20. There was like 3 members, like I think like four of the 5, including KD, had double-figure points that next game. There was only one, and he only played like 6 minutes.
Right. But I mean, it'll remain to be seen. You'll see it once if they do it again and again and again. Now, doing it for one game, okay, that don't mean nothing. But if you,
but all I'm saying is, he was wrong for the delivery, but he was not wrong in the message.
Right. Yeah. What he said wasn't wrong.
The delivery maybe need a little.
You didn't need to say it. Everybody knew it. You didn't need to say it. You didn't need to verbalize it.
There you go. But I think he felt like, hey, look, y'all are leaning on me so hard. I'm averaging over 30 points a game. What more can I do?
Well, I mean,
we'll know if it worked when Kyrie come back on Sunday. We'll know if
look,
they can unite this previous Ben Simmons, is playing the way he's been playing with a double-double. And KD's doing KD thing. Can they move the ball around more than enough for everybody can eat?
Look,
and that's where they're at.
As a Celtics fan, you know how I feel about Kyrie. But if I was Kyrie, I don't even know if I would want to play for this Nets team.
Why Celtics?
Not even the team. I don't even know if I would want to play for that owner ever again.
Yeah, they did.
After you basically just like threw me out to
Well,
I'm not going to get into the point. I'm not going to get into what happened.
I get it.
We all know what happened.
KD is getting to the point where nobody's going to want him.
Who, Kyrie?
And Kyrie, yeah.
At this point, I don't think he would care. Kyrie has made his money. He's made his money. So, you know what I'm saying? This Nets team is obviously not going to win a championship anytime soon.
What he should do is sit out the season and make Uncle Drew too. That's what he should be doing.
And I wouldn't be mad at him. And you know how I feel about Kyrie.
I don't know. I
wouldn't be mad at him.
I don't know why Celtics fans don't like Kyrie so much. That's messed up.
We'll talk about it after we get off. Because
speaking of championships, are the Bucks headed back? And if they do make it back, will they be playing the Jazz? Because both teams are playing kind of all right.
I don't think ultimately they will be playing the Jazz. The Jazz have started off good. They started off great, but I don't think that's going to equate to a finals run.
The Jazz are the epitome of young guys that are hungry, that they've been wanting to play in the NBA since they've been born. And they're showing the world that, hey, we are here and we're just having fun and playing ball. When it gets to the playoffs, I won't even hell, they may even make the playoffs. I don't give them that much credit. That's how good they're playing. But when they start getting a tight 8, in the playoffs, getting these series is tough. That's a different level of basketball.
And I mean, they've already
series basketball, playoff basketball is different. And as hungry as those guys may be, they don't have enough talent to let's say they are the number 1 seed, and then Golden State ends up number 8. They're not being Golden State 4 times.
No, right. They're not going to do it. Now,
and I mean, and like right now, they're they went from first to, I think they're like 4th or 5th out west.
They're 4th right now. Yep.
Yeah. And you said you were talking about the Bucks.
Right.
You can't talk about the Bucks without talking about the number 1 team in the East.
Talk about it. the hell just happened?
We all know the Celtics are good.
Let me tell you
We know the Celtics are good.
Let me tell you this.
But I
don't
think
nobody care about the damn Celtics.
They're not as good as they were. They're not better than they were last year. It's the same team. They're young. They're hungry. They're skillful. They're skillful.
They've gotten better. Them going out and getting Malcolm. They went out and got Malcolm Brogdon. That right there alone was an upgrade because now
for a shooter, yes,
huh?
For a shooter,
now
yeah,
for the second.
I think a healthy Middleton and the Milwaukee Bucks are the team to beat, and that's what they were missing last year. Giannis took it all on his shoulders. He didn't need to do that. A healthy Middleton, an all-star, you know.
You call him Giannis.
I believe it will come down to Boston and Milwaukee again. It will. But and you can't disrespect a team like the Cavaliers.
And you know they're not playing like it right now, but I don't put Philly out of it. Atlanta's playing good ball right now.
Yeah.
Did you said the Cavs, right?
Yep, he said the Cavs.
Yeah, that's another team that's further along than the Jazz, but in that same boat. You know what I'm saying? Young guys that are hungry.
Right.
And they're playing like it.
That
team is gonna be scared. That team come playoff time. I think that's gonna be a team that nobody's gonna want to play.
Right. They're gonna be real scary. And the Jazz team, don't forget, this is the same Jazz team that's talking to the Lakers about a possible trade. So let's not forget about that. They doing good, but they already looking at different ways.
No,
but Conley and Bogdanovic.
Right. I was about to say with the Jazz though, that's them trying to unload older guys. It's not nothing else other than that.
I get that.
That's not even a yeah.
I'm
not saying you're not. I'm just saying like that has nothing to do with what they're trying to build.
No, I got that. I got that.
Trying to unload two older guys that don't fit their timeline.
I got that. But look, somebody posed a question to me today at work. They said it looks like the Pelicans
are playing to the Pelicans. Huh?
No. I want to ask y'all this. It don't have nothing to do. I want to ask y'all because it was asked to me. They said it looks like they're playing better when Zion isn't in the lineup. And I know
the ball moves. And I've said that plenty of times. When you got a superstar, and Zion, when healthy, is a superstar. When healthy, obviously, it's very few in between.
It becomes a black hole.
You gotta feed that monster the ball, you know, and he'll get you 25 and 10, and nothing wrong with that. It should be the other way around, where he should be able to fit in a system where we're going to move the ball, and whether it's Ingram today, McCollum tomorrow, Zion, you can get your points on Tuesday. Alvarado can get 12 and 10 assist-wise, not rebound. You know, it's like they have a lot of talent. They're hungry.
He's a little guy.
They're like a more veteran-like team of Utah, but for some reason, for the last few years, they're looking for an identity through a superstar. They were looking at it as, well, Brandon Ingram came in. He's the savior. And they did it before when Julius Randle was there. The ball goes to Julius Randle. He's a superstar. The Pelicans has always been that way. And it's not the coaching because they moved the coaches. It's like the philosophy of that team is the ball has to go through one person.
Yeah,
and it shouldn't be that way.
Ever since they lost Chris Paul, and you know they've gone through coaches and things like that, which I didn't agree with them getting rid of Monty Williams when the GM was trash. It was Dell Demps who had screwed that team up. So now what they're doing, I think that they're building some type of culture, and I feel like they might get on track. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Like they play the Celtics Sunday, I want to say. So
let me ask you a question, Jimmy.
Pelicans.
Yeah. And I'm gonna ask you a question, Jimmy, and I'm gonna tie in the comment we got from John Marshall. Do you want Wembanyama? That's the first pick, right? Lakers' worst team.
That's the first pick, and
in the lottery.
He's the overall consensus to be the best player coming in the lottery.
Does he fit New Orleans with Zion, Brandon Ingram, McCollum, And I think they still need a point guard up there. But yeah,
they definitely need.
You find a way to make a talent like that fit.
Right. They definitely need a point guard. And right now they have Jonas down there. They definitely need to get rid of Jackson Hayes because Jackson Hayes is the tallest person on the court anytime he steps on the court and he stands at the 3-point line. No matter what happens.
We're doing the same thing. Wembanyama is not a back to the goal.
Yeah, he'll take you out to the 3-point line.
Right,
like,
but he's arguably
he's a stretch. He's a stretch.
Yeah, he's smaller than what you call it, not height wise, but weight wise, he's smaller than Jackson Hayes.
But he's not a banger anyway, though. He's not a banger. Like that's not his game. His game is more finesse.
He's right.
So
he's not a banger. So he made.
So who would you relate his game to? Porzingis?
No, more of a young Giannis.
Yeah, I would
better range.
I would give him a Giannis or maybe Dirk, because Dirk had that finesse too.
Yeah, Dirk.
So you can do that, and he put on weight. You not too much weight, but put on some weight so he's not getting pushed around down there. But I would take him to put him there because he could spread the floor and get out of kind of clear the way for a Zion to go through there.
You a talent like as by all accounts, he's a generational talent.
Right.
You draft him and then you find ways to fit him into your
system. And that's what I'm saying. You
don't pass up on him just because he doesn't fit perfectly into what you already got going on.
But they already have that problem with Zion, though.
But that's what I'm saying. You have him out there, and he's clearing out
2 different games, though.
Right. He's clearing out the hole because right now
Zion is a more slasher, get to the basket, dunk on you.
Right. What I'm saying right now,
he's gonna sit out there at that 3-point line, you kick it to him.
No,
exactly. Because what you have with Jonas Valanciunas, Jonas is in the paint. So Zion trying to go down there, they're clashing. If you have him out there to kind of stretch it out, then that middle comes
opens up the
now
middle more for Zion.
You kind of lose some in rebounding because he's not going to be down there in the post to rebound.
But he can get down there though.
Right.
So, but that goes to my point with saying the philosophy of Pelicans basketball is to feed a player and a ball goes through a player, whether it's pick and roll, whether it's isolation. That's been the philosophy of the Pelicans.
Right.
So
how can they do that with a Zion, Wembanyama, Brandon Ingram, and a McCollum? You know what I'm saying? Like,
you find a way to make that
regardless of generational talent.
You don't pass up on that. You find a way to make it work. Or you find a coach that will.
I would take him, and I would go ahead. I would try to make it work the best way possible. And I'm sure with Willie Green, Willie can get them guys to do stuff, and I feel like he'll be able to make it work. I know it's getting late in the day. Let's go ahead and move on a little bit, fellas, because you got UFC that just happened. How you pronounce that name? Israel
Adesanya.
Adesanya.
Yes,
that right there was
Adesanya.
That was huge.
You know, it was, but it was kind of how can I put it? Sugar Shane Mosley and Vernon, I forgot the guy's name. When Mosley was undefeated, and then Vernon was the only guy that beat him in the amateur, and then beat him twice. You know what I'm saying? So when he fought this weekend, and I might have lost Pereira, whatever. Yeah, he beat him in the amateurs. That was his only loss.
Right.
So he had his number, but Adesanya just lost his wits in the 5th round. He was ahead.
He was ahead.
All right. Vernon Forrest.
So
Forrest, that's who it was.
Vernon Forrest. He was the guy. He got shot outside of a 7-Eleven trying to, Yeah, it was crazy. Absolutely right. Rest in peace, Vernon Forrest. Sorry, I got a kid on the loose all of a sudden.
I understand. Yeah, I just got one that did.
But to make matters worse, Israel Adesanya got arrested yesterday going through JFK with brass knuckles when a fan gave it to him as a gift. He put it in his bag. No brass knuckle law in New York, and he got arrested. That was a story that came out. If you guys didn't know that.
So we talk about people
he
that
got
got
detained and they let him go. But a fan lived the game as a gift.
So
we
talk about people that got arrested.
No, we're not. Stop it. I already know where you're going with that.
We ain't gonna go back and touch on that.
We already passed football.
We're talking about it's a perfect segue though.
We're talking about UFC.
We ain't gonna touch on that.
We're talking about UFC.
I mean, he was celebrating that they
we are talking about UFC. Todd Downing, man, that dude's a dumb.
Well, the Celtics play the Pelicans tonight. My bad. But yeah, back to UFC because we ain't gonna talk about it. I ain't gonna bring it back to you. Were you finished with that, sir? I'm sorry, Amir.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we was talking about people getting punched in the face. Let's talk about boxing. How Errol Spence was ordered to fight Keith Thurman by the WBC.
So the camps, and unfortunately, it's not on the fighters a lot of times. You know, the fighter can say, "I want to fight this guy." But the promoters, the leagues, the federation, as they say, WBO, IBF, whatever, has to say you have to fight this guy as a mandatory challenger. So when a deal didn't get in place, because you got like a month to negotiate, because you have to keep defending your title every 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So you got like 30 days to negotiate a fight, to schedule a fight 2, 3 months after. You don't do that. They're going to pick Keith Thurman, who hasn't fought in forever. I'm trying to think if he fought since the Pacquiao fight. I don't remember. I think he might have fought one time, and maybe not even then. I think he hasn't fought since he lost to Pacquiao. And he was undefeated when he lost to Pacquiao, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. So he's not a bad guy to fight. You know, if Thurman comes in with the Keith Thurman that we saw previous, we'll see. But the big boxing news is Gervonta Davis and
Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia. Because originally it came out, they were fighting the same weekend against other people. And then they finally was saying, no, they're fighting each other. So I'm happy that's happening because boxing needs these guys who are great in their sport to fight each other. They do. Yep. You know, you got Fury, who's retired for the 5th time. He's waiting on Deontay Wilder and Reese fight. That got signed.
That's gonna be that's gonna be a nice.
So John Reese and Deontay Wilder, whoever wins that fight, will fight
Fury
for his title then. So boxing needs names to fight each other because we get tired of seeing the Canelos beat nobody. We get tired of seeing Crawford beat nobody. It gets exhausting. Everybody's getting paid, and as a fan, we're paying the money. Granted, I'm not, but we're missing out. You know what I'm saying? It's like the fans want these fights.
I just get my news from y'all. I'm not watching it at all. I don't care. But
Mayweather fought last weekend. Nobody talked about that
because it was a money grab for him, and it wasn't important at all.
Yeah,
no, but not even. I'm talking about not even the media's, the social media. Everybody was like, you know what, we're done with that.
That's good. Right. Yeah,
because
definitely.
If it was,
doesn't move the needle,
right?
Now, hold on. In that same card, though, Tommy Fury called out what's his name, Paul, who was in attendance, and go out. That interview was actually entertaining. That's my whole point. Not the fight.
You know how I feel about them.
Yeah,
both of them, him and his brother.
They're both in.
I think that's gonna be my thing.
They're both in.
Bring up the Pauls, and you know I hate both of
them. They're both in WWE. Right,
you got to give props to Logan Paul in that fight against Roman Reigns.
That was I give him props, but I'm still sick of them.
They're both.
When have you seen a guy fly off the top rope taking a selfie?
And that's
on whatever he was.
Tore up everything in his knee too.
Yeah, but he gave it all for a sport that we love.
Yeah,
and he's just doing it for the money.
And speaking of WWE and Roman Reigns, SummerSlam, or not SummerSlam, Survivor Series is coming up, and they changed it to War Games, and so. The bloodline will be going up against the Brawling Brutes, and there's rumors out there that the 5th member of the Brawling Brutes will be Kevin Owens. We don't know for sure.
He got hurt last weekend.
He got hurt, but we don't know if it's storyline. We don't know if it's
storyline. No, he originally was supposed to be the 5th surprising member,
right,
with McIntyre. So, but he got hurt in a house show.
Right. So we'll see because he's supposed to be on SmackDown tonight as well. So. That's what's going on.
I think the more intriguing thing is who's going to be Bianca's 5th member.
initially they were supposed to be having Sasha and Naomi in there, but Naomi got hung up in her contract talks, and that's why they haven't.
How close is Becky to returning?
It could be Becky, because I know Becky was gone to do the filming of Young Rock and do a couple of other projects that she had on the horizon, so she should be on her way back too.
I would say Becky for Royal Rumble. So obviously I'm not a writer, but I would say Becky for Royal Rumble.
So who do you see being?
I think you said it last week, a couple weeks ago. I think it would be Candice LeRae. I don't think it'll be a big comeback.
Now, see, I would have. I think I'm leaning off of the Candice LeRae thing now. I think it's going to be a bigger name only because Rhea stuck her nose in. So she, her and Yim. So
you got Mia and Yim already, so they don't need another big name because they got Yim there. They got Mia already.
I don't think I thought a couple of weeks ago, yes, it could have been Candice LeRae before they got Mia Yim. I think now you say big name. I don't know, what I'm saying, with how big her name is with the casual.
Who's left? Who?
Becky. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's why I think it's
the only ones you really have left. You got Becky. You got Charlotte. You got.
And I don't see it being Charlotte.
I don't see it being Charlotte either, but you got. I'm just naming some ladies that's out there. You got Doudrop, who hadn't been seen.
I don't think it'll be. I think if Doudrop would have came on after Nikki Cross started getting involved, then that could have been her. But I think like with them moving past Nikki being the last member, and now Mia Yim, Rhea have obviously inserted themselves. I think it's gonna have to be a name like I don't know. I keep saying Becky. I think it's gonna be Becky.
Well, we'll see here in the upcoming weeks, and it'll be figured out. I'm kind of.
Who's the one girl that was tagging with Shotzi?
Shotzi Blackheart?
They brought her back for NXT together. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Aaliyah? No,
Aaliyah's hurt. But what about Aaliyah's former partner?
Raquel?
Yeah.
I think they already got their powerhouse with like, I think. Yeah, I don't. I mean, it could be Raquel. Who are you talking about, Amir? Like now you got.
I'm looking it up right now. She got cut though.
Yeah, so it probably I don't know. I'm looking forward to some good storytelling. Triple H has been doing a wonderful job.
Tegan Knox. They were talking about bringing her back.
Yeah,
but WWE is in negotiation to come back.
But is her name big enough to bring her back and throw her in that
in the NXT world, independence? Yes,
I feel.
But I mean, this is one of those things where I think, and I guess that's the mindset that I'm in. I'm thinking Triple H is going to try to appease the casual fans to draw in more names. So you come with somebody like a Becky. I know I keep saying it, but her name rings bells outside of wrestling.
Well, storyline that makes sense as well.
Injured her.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So
it makes sense, but are they ready to bring her back? That's the question.
I doubt it. It's probably gonna be a smaller name than we're thinking, and we're probably overthinking it. But Triple H has been doing a good job since he's been back, and I can't wait to see the stories that he keep going on with us. So, we thank y'all for sticking with us. Oh, one other thing that's happening and started today, the World Cup started today. So we'll be on the lookout and paying attention to seeing what's going on in the world of football, or soccer, as it were. All sports matter, sir. All sports matter.
It starts Sunday. It starts Sunday.
They had some stuff started today.
Well, probably the opening game. They got opening game stuff like that.
Yeah, but the main event starts Sunday. Yes, correct.
Yeah. The first game starts Sunday with Qatar, which is the home. They're hosting. They kind of lost as lackluster because they pulled alcohol sales from the stadiums and anywhere around the area. So that kind of like let them know, like, hey, fans are not going to show up rowdy. United States first game is Monday against Wales. So at this point, we're happy to see United States back in it.
That should be a good match, though. So, and it's match, not game,
yeah.
sir.
You're right.
I know soccer.
They should get the Sweet 16 because we know it's round robin.
Yeah.
So I believe they'll have a problem with England, and we'll see how that plays out.
But that's all that we have tonight, good people. Y'all have anything before we cut out? Anything else?
We will not be on next Friday for Thanksgiving weekend. Everybody enjoy the holidays. Be thankful. Watch football. Actually, some pretty good games on Thursday. Starting out Bills, Lions, Cowboys, Giants. And the late game is Vikings. Somebody, I forgot. It's the Vikings, I know that. So
is it Green
playoff worthy games. Usually we get like Lions, Bears, and
is it
Cowboys, Raiders.
Yeah.
Huh?
So it should be some good games. It's a good slate of games. But yep. So that's all we got. I'm gonna go ahead because I see SmackDown is on my television. So that means it's time for us to go because that's how we keep time in All Sports Matter. What's on TV. And since SmackDown is on, that means it's past 7:00.
Tomorrow, AEW pay-per-view.
AEW pay-per-view is tomorrow. The Mox
Full gear.
The Mox is go ahead and hold on to his championship. And we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Thank y'all for sticking with us. For my guys, I'm JB. This is All Sports Matter. We out.